All right, so we're ready to hear the old 17 run again. I hope so, because it's been a good while. So we're gonna get started on that project right after this. Welcome back. If you haven't seen my videos before, I'm Ross the Oliver Man. This here's the old 1755 original paint, which I bought slightly before YouTube, so maybe about 3 years ago. And upon buying it, I got a set of batteries, brand new, put in it, and they did not last, as I bought them not from my usual place, but another store I was at. It was a different brand battery, and I should have known better because they just don't last. About the best battery for the value I have found is the Napa batteries, for whatever reason. The interstate ones are excellent, but they're super expensive, so the next best choice to me is these, based on years of product testing. I've tried every brand of battery imaginable. The old King Rule batteries are the worst ones. I hate those things. You couldn't give me one. I mean, they don't last at all. I've tried them from the Dear John store, thinking that they'd be excellent because they don't put the acid in until you buy them. No dice. They lasted less than anything else I've tried. So these are my favorite, and not cheap, you know, to put 2 batteries in a tractor. But like I said, I wanted original. So that's what we're gonna do. I carried one over here, and then I thought I might as well start the video so that we have some film of stuff happening, you know. So basically, we'll carry the other battery over here, and then we'll work on not plumbing it up, but, you know, putting it together. I got a battery cutoff, and I made a little bracket, and I'm hoping to mount it in about in here somewheres. That's about where I got it on the 1855. I think everything will clear. It might be kind of close right there, but we can make her happen somehow. And it is actually, the paint is drying on it right now still, because it's fresh. So we're going to let that have as much time as possible and get started on the rest of this. So I'm going to go grab the other battery, and then we can, you know, assess our situation here and get started. All right, get in there. Yep. Okay. Sure. Well, whoa, why am I not there? Oh. Okay. There, maybe? No. We're having trouble just sitting on the earth, and that is a problem. There we go. All right. Now, our first order of business might as well be crossover cable. And you kind of we might have to make sure before we tighten everything that this lid piece won't interfere, but I think I know how to put them on there where it won't. Oh no, he's gonna touch the tube. Oh no. That would do nothing. You understand that, right? I think people are mystified by 2 6-volt batteries to make a 12. I could touch these two all together all day long, and they'll never arc out because they're not connected to each other. If you touch that one and that one together, they'll arc out. But basically, all you do is connect positive to negative, and it makes your battery, you know, doubles the voltage or whatever you have, combination of batteries. If you had 2 8 volts and you connected them that way, you'd have 16 volts, you know. But if I took the 2 positives and connected them together, and the 2 negatives and connected them together, I'd still only have a 6-volt battery because they would be connected the same way. I believe that's called parallel. And what we're doing is connecting them in series. So, at least that's what I'm going to call it technically, the technical jargon. But some people just, they have a really hard time grasping how that goes. I have had, I've worked on tractors for people where they just couldn't understand it. I mean, no fault of their own, I guess. That's something you don't maybe need in everyday life. All right, these two are gonna go over here, so we're gonna ignore them for now. And the ground cable's gonna go in a different spot anyway. When we're done, now you may have to clean these if they're not brand new, like these are, basically. So these are gonna be fine the way they are. And this is the trick, isn't it? I forgot about that. We gotta go. Did I go this way with it last time around? Probably. And I probably should have brought an open end wrench, because I don't think I'll get this back in there. So I probably have to use what I did bring, which is an adjustable wrench. I worked on a, what was it? An 1855 or a 1955 for a guy one time, where they started replacing wiring in the dash and they couldn't get the tractor to run and they didn't know what was going on and they just couldn't, it just wouldn't run anymore. And what was wrong, the crossover cable was bad, so they weren't getting any battery connection, you know. They could test each battery and it showed like they were good, you know, and that's, I guess, what they were doing. And both batteries showed good 6 volt. Nothing was wrong. Well, when they connected them together, they had nothing because the crossover cable was toast. So don't overlook the small things when you're working on something. Similarly, I worked on a lawnmower one time where the guy was so aggravated about it, and he said, "Come and get this thing." He said, "I'm over it." He said, "It won't run." And he said, "I've had enough. Come get it." And I said, "You sure you don't want me to bring tools and fix it there?" And he said, "No, get it out of here." Well, I loaded it up on the trailer, brought it home, never even took it off the trailer. First thing I did was clean the 2 battery connections and fired it right up. He had put on either a new battery or a new cable or something, and he didn't clean one or the other, and it wasn't making connection. So he could have got it a lot cheaper if I hadn't had to take it home, but that's what he wanted, so that's what I did, you know. Now this time we're going together permanent like, so I'm going to tighten this down. So then what I'm going to do is realize I didn't bring enough tools again. How is that always the way? I needed to bring a 9/16, I guess, for that. But that's okay. We can start putting this together. And this is a exercise in precision because they got to be both even in order to do this. But see how it keeps it all nice and together like this. That's why I went with 2 6s again. Somewhere is, where did it go? There it is. I'm working blind here. I can't see the underneath. There we go. And I'm not crawling on the ground. I think I did that last time I did this one. And it ain't happening. This was a little bit of a mistake the other day. It didn't want to play nice. There we go. It didn't want to go where it was supposed to. So oh, I got the wrong socket. Switch to the other one. Eventually we'll get this figured out. And I'm talking about life, not these batteries. One of these days, probably about the time it's over, we'll finally understand what's happening. Probably for good measure. Should do the other side now to tighten her down evenly. And that side is interfering very closely with this step we put on there. I think we did that in a video. This was a very bent up factory step, but that's all I had on hand. And I made it as good as I could. And then I had trouble where it wouldn't fit against there because of the, yeah. It's one of those things, you know. No matter what you do, it's wrong. It's much like farming or being in any kind of relationship. No matter what you do, it's the wrong thing. So just do something and deal with whatever the outcome is. Because either way, you are wrong. All right. We got 3 out of the 4 good to go. I'm gonna give it a little, this little bottle just keeps on giving, you know. We did this to get my uncle's truck, I think, when I put the battery in that. And we got that battery for our combine. And we got these 2 bottles of spray, and they just keep going and going. All right, so our next affair is going to be how can we make our cutoff switch everything reach. And so what I've done, you know, I need to get you more position now where you can see this in. My bracket should take her down in this neighborhood here, you know, however it may be. And so the ground cable on this one luckily was way far away, so I know I'll have enough. If I take it off, I'll be able to loop it through. And why I'm saying that is because you understand on the lid of these, there's a notch, and it has, the cables have to go through there. So it'll have to come out of there, curve around and come over here, and then my other cable has to go from this to one of these bolts here. And that will be fine and dandy, I think. I think I have everything to make that happen. I've done enough of these that I kind of know what's what. But this cable is just going to hang out up under here, and it's going to go, you know, from one to the other. This is actually kind of long. Maybe I should put it in the same bolt it was just to use up this cable. That was the shortest one they had, so I just had to make go with it. But I think it will go right as is. So what I'm going to do now is go get the I'm going to go get my pliers, or not pliers, but a 9/16, and then I'm going to make this happen somehow. Ground cable to some bolt. I don't know which one I'm going to choose. The hot cable is up here, so when that's scrunched against the wall of the thing, let's just try that just to make sure what I'm talking about. See, this will hook over there. That'll hook over there. Okay, that's plenty room. It can stick out away and have a gap here for that other cable to come over. That was what my next question was. So I could do that, and then I could potentially curve this one around this way too. So the grounds are resting against the frame of the tractor. Not that it's going to rub through and make any difference, but if it had to, that would probably be the best. Although maybe it would be the best to leave the ground cable here. So if it wears through there, it's not into the hot one. I don't know, dealer's choice, but we'll make this work, friends. It's not rocket science. I gotta get a 9/16 socket now, and then we will make this happen. Maybe I should also get a 3/4 socket, or can I make this happen? I didn't bring one. I thought adjustable would be good enough, but clearly that is not the case. Clearly it would have been much better to get the correct tools instead of being a dum-dum. Oh yes, I forgot about this. This is going to be a... Okay. I will have to get a 3/4 wrench to hold the top of this, which is a real trick for where it is, but I can do it. So, more sockets and 3/4 wrench of some kind. All right. What do we want to do first? Well, I suppose we could firstly flip-flop our cables, or we could drop our socket. This is the ratchet that doesn't hold them, isn't it? And it aggravates me every single time. Oh, you don't need ground cables that work. This one will be so stiff and brittle that it won't want to change its shape. It's not even hooked up yet, is it? We're gonna have to do that first, I think. I mean first, like in a minute, not right this second. If I put this here, it's not because that's a special place, it's just because I need to use up some of this enormously long cable, which I didn't realize I was going to acquire such girth. But you need to also leave yourself room that you can get this unhooked, because I've run into that problem before too. So really all you would need is a little cable from here to here, but like I said, this is what you get. It's all about just making it look decent-ish, hiding inappropriateness. All right, that part there might be fine. Before we go any farther, let's install this in some way that... See, if I go like that, those are both ground cables, so that's cool. But what we'll do here is we will make sure that's down all the way. And it's not hooked to anything right now, so it shouldn't arc out. Actually, it will, because these two are connected, so I want to be very careful not to do that thing. Like touch the back of my ratchet to the cable that is right here. Like here, this very close gap. Alright. I think we're about done in there. We just need to... What do I do with the stuff? Most of my life is spent looking for things that I just had. You can use that stuff or not. I think it helps. I don't know. I've used it for several years on some, and then some I don't, and it seems like the ones I do, they stay nicer. I don't know. Look at that beauty though. Battery box on. Just the way it's supposed to be. Now, we got our 2 cables here, which will go to our cutoff switch somehow. So now, our plan is loosening this bolt. Which, why did I decide to use that one? I don't know. Just, that's the way she worked out. And I'm gonna have a tremendous struggle to hold the top of it. Just because I want it to come loose, you know. I didn't want this to come loose. Come on. If the bolt was long enough, I would just leave it and put a second nut on it, but it's not. And now, what it's gonna make me do, it's gonna force me to get a, there we go. Funny to get a bite. Thought it was gonna force me to get a box end wrench because they're kind of bent down, you see. And then you could get everything you need. So this is gonna be a trick in engineering here because I got to hold. I don't want to lose my wrench. It's got a good bite on it. I'm going to slide this into place. I'm going to put this back on. I guess I can just bend my hand in the opposite way that it was designed. That's going to kind of get into the step maybe, but not too bad. I could put it this way. Do I want to do it that way maybe? The other one in the 1855 is this way, but or towards the step, but it's in such a way that I think I'm going to like that better. That'll let me get what I want. So that means, see, I should have took my hand off that wrench. Now it's spinning again. I had my one chance at success there, and I blew it. Well, that ain't perfect, friends. It ain't perfect at all. There. More better. Is that gonna stay? I hope it is. I forgot another tool, which I should have had. But that's fine. We'll just need it for final assembly, and that is a Phillips screwdriver to get this handle off. I had it off a while ago, so I'm able to get it loose now, but it would just be okay. I had this through there a while ago. Now come on. How are we gonna go here? This one's gonna go to that one. This one's gonna go to the bottom one. That's fine if it does, but they have to. Oh, what luck here. Come on. Right. Oh, what fun we're having. I think we can do everything we need to do here. But another thing we should do is see what orientation that handle's gonna be in. Not that it really matters. That would be on, that would be off. If I do that though, it would be a lot easier on me if I could put them like this. And that's going to confuse people. But if I could do it this way. That's on. That's off. That's a little bit better. But why I'm saying that is, it offsets my posts in the back to where they're the right direction that these cables can get to it easy. So that's what I want, because that's off, that's on. So if I hold it right like this and tighten it up, that's what I want. And I fully expect that it will spin in this hole over time. It'll be super annoying, but we'll never do anything about it. We will never fix it. So if I do that, look how pretty that is. Up is on, that way's off. Doesn't interfere with my step. Let's just leave this on and put the screw part way in. I'll have to get the screwdriver again, like I said. Dumb me never brings all the tools along. I may also have to get a actual wrench, simply because of the space. I don't know if I have enough space to get this. I know I don't have enough to use the socket, but that ship sailed a long time ago. Yeah, it's 9/16, but what good does that do? Okay, we put that on there. Come on. We got to arrange our cables in a little bit better way. Now, if they rub through and arc out to each other, then your ground switch isn't going to do nothing. But if they do what they're supposed to and play nice, everything's going to be fine, see? Jack, what are you doing? I hear you out there honking. I think we're going to have to go get an actual 9/16 box end or something that'll fit in there better. 'Cause I am struggling. I mean, it's going to happen. It's just, it would be better to do that. Alright, Phillips screwdriver and a box in 9/16, and I think we got this project licked, and then we can hear it run. So, let me go grab that real quick. Ah! Alright. Are we gonna make it? Oh, I hope so. I didn't have a 9/16. I found a 14mm. It's the same thing, right? There! Man! Now I'm just tighten this. And we should be good to go. Now you might be asking yourself, why does a guy do this? Well, I've just found when you got 30 some or 40 now tractors, it's a lot easier if you shut the battery off, that the next time you come back to the tractor, it's probably going to run. If you leave the batteries hooked up and the fuel turned on, you're almost always going to have a dead battery and be out of gas. So if we look at a gauge, let's see, we don't have a handy gauge here to see, do we? But if I turn the key on now, nothing should happen. But if I turn on this battery cutoff, nothing should happen. Okay, well, yeah, it did. It twitched. You just had to be looking for it. Fuel gauge didn't twitch at all, though. That's kind of odd. Who knows? This thing is possessed by demons. The ghost of whoever owned it before. Let's check the Earl. And hopefully when we pull the dipstick, it doesn't come shooting out at us like the O-rings all leaked out. Nope, that's good. So, are we ready for some football? Let's go with it. Cold start. Hasn't run since last year. Oh, yeah. Sweetheart. We don't want to race the hitch because we're too close to the feed grinder, but working on this? Yeah, I think we did. Yeah, we did that in the video, I remember now. So we're good to go. What a sweetheart. Hasn't run for months and months and she fires right up. Cows are confused though. They think that there's food coming or something because I see them walking this way, so that's fine. Yeah, when I bought this, I thought, man, did I pay too much for this on an auction. It was more than I wanted to give. It was almost $5,000 by the time all the fees and stuff were added in, and it didn't run. And I thought, what a hunk of junk. And I couldn't get it started. When I first got it together, I tried and tried and tried and tried, and it would not run. And what was happening is from sitting over time, like the hydraulic shift loses its prime, so it's not gonna help you. If you try to pull start, ain't nothing gonna happen. It just spins inside itself, more or less, is what was taking place. It was not helping me. So I put a high torque starter on, took the one off the 1855 and put it on here, and it fired it right up. So that's what I've got on there now. Sometimes, friends, a diesel engine, you have to have speed or it won't start. And I would much rather start them anyway on their own than try to be pulling them around and doing all kinds of crazy stuff and ether and all that. But the pump was stuck, was what the first issue was, though. I mean, it was stuck bad. He said probably one of the worst he'd had. So got that rebuilt, and like I said, put this high-speed starter on. She fired right up. Put our fenders on off that 1955 with the cab, and so now we're in business. We're ready to probably fix the 1955 now. Ooh, this lever is wrong. It's homemade. And I did buy a pair of levers the other day, and I thought, why did I buy those? I don't know. And now I remember. Bought it for this, because one of them's homemade and it won't hold a knob. So we will get that done, and then life will be grand. And apparently the cows see me sitting up here, and they're deciding to call, so that's fine. Sure. So another project completed, although maybe not that interesting. Yeah, moo to you too. But it's something that needed to be done. It was super annoying every time to try to have to jump this thing, because I would use it a lot more. And that's the thing. People say, well, you can't afford to put batteries and tires on everything. Well, you're right, you can't. But if you don't, it's less likely that you're going to use them. They end up sitting, and then you have to always be working on them to get them to run, carburetors and whatever. If you have a battery in it to where you can get on it and fire it right up, you're more likely to use it. Because I know there's been times when I've tried to do it that other way, and then I'd be like, well, I'm not using that one because it didn't have a battery in it. I don't have time to fool with that. So I try to keep batteries and everything where it will run, and try to like have them on a rotation where they don't all come due at the same year, because that's pretty unhandy. Freddie! Hey, buddy. We should probably cold start you too one of these days. We're almost out of battery though. I don't know if we can do that in this video or not. We can give it a quick try. I don't think he'll start though. After sitting a while, Freddie doesn't like to just fire right up. He's an attention seeker, see? We ain't hardly got enough power to go either, do we? Something ain't going. What is that thing that ain't going? Ain't got tight enough cables, maybe? Oh! You know what? I think the ground switch on that one is bad. Yeah, Freddie ain't gonna start. That's a brand new battery and it's still dead. But I think it's because that ground switch is bad and it's leaking through. So that's why I took the cable off last time, I guess. But whatever. We know Freddie runs. We'll get him back out here when it gets warm and play with that. We still got stuff to do to it to make it more better. But today was the 1755's day, and I am thrilled. This is going to be so handy, and it looks nice, and yeah, another one completed. As always, if you enjoy my videos, give them a thumbs up. That helps out the channel, and it doesn't cost you anything. Leave a comment. Tell me that you liked it, or tell me that you hated it. Tell me I'm a moron. I really don't care, but anything that you say helps us out too. So thank you again, as always, for watching, and I will see you in the next one.